I guess just thoughts on Minnesota and the problems they present.
Well, they present a ton of problems because they're really, really good when they are allowed to get out and spread out and press and get up into you. They're excellent, and we've got to be prepared for that. We didn't deal with that real well here, and we've spent a lot of time preparing for that. And they've got some guys that are playing enormously well at home, and we're getting ready for the best Minnesota team. We're getting ready for the kind of Minnesota team that we saw the first time here, and we're getting ready for how good both Hollands are, and how good Trevor is, and how aggressive Joe Coleman is, and what Rodney Williams is capable of. And they're playing different guys. They have a deep team, but we think they're really good. We think they're really aggressive, and the one thing that they have that's as good as anybody's is their length, and they can really create problems, and that's why we've got to be efficient and on the attack the whole night.
It seems like with them this year, the highs have been pretty high, and the lows it seems like they kind of operate at extremes. I mean, what do they look at when they are the good Minnesota?
Well, I think we saw it here. I think that's the one that was ranked in the top 10. I mean, I think that's what we're looking at, and we know we're going to get their best effort. I mean, they've had time off, and I'm sure they've healed up and been able to work on things, and that's what we're looking at. I mean, we're looking for that team, and that's what we expect to see, and hopefully they're going to see us at our best. We've had an excellent week, and you never know how you're going to play from game to game, but if preparation and the lead up that we've had is any indication, then we'll go in and we'll be really ready to go. But again, we haven't spent a lot of time. We've looked at different things. Why have people been successful against them? But I mean, at the same time, this is a very aggressive, athletic, tenacious team, and that's what we're focused on. That's who we're focused on playing.
Because the maturity of
the pressure gave you problems last night.
We didn't do a very good job. I didn't give us enough. I didn't give us enough ways to beat it, and I think again it was such a high margin, right into the very end, and we just didn't do a great job of getting open, and we didn't do a great job of coming to the ball. We made some mistakes defensively, and we kind of played for the game to get over rather than really play an entire 40 minutes of putting them away. So we'll be better at that. But they're really good with that at home. There's no doubt about that.
Does the maturity of the team help with make sure that there's no rust after the week off?
Well, I would hope so. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a full week. I mean, so you never know. I mean, you can't. If you spend time worrying about that, then you're giving yourself a lot of things that really you can't do anything about. I mean, we've practiced well, and we're prepared. I mean, they've got a great attitude. I mean, there's been no lull. We've taken some time off. We've healed up, but at the same time, they've come in here every day with keeping the main thing, which is getting better, and that's what's most important.
Tom, the fact that you're 2-game lead in the Big Ten, do you focus on that, or just a game by game?
No. I mean, I think you start focusing on hypotheticals and you start focusing on where you're sitting rather than where you're going. Then I think you're asking for trouble, and they're like anybody else. They know what the standings are. They know who's playing who. They know who's playing when. And we know that we're playing tomorrow night against a really good team, and these guys have done a phenomenal job of staying with that all year.
You talked about playing in the first meeting, just kind of playing like you wanted the game to be over, and just seeing it through.
Well, I think the last couple of minutes, yeah, really. I mean, think about it. We had a pretty substantial lead going into the last few minutes of that game. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say. I mean, do you think one area where this team has grown is that ability to not take its foot off the gas pedal?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think there's any question. And I think again, every situation that you go through just gives you a better understanding of how to deal with the next one. And that's what experience really is. And we've just got to be really good at meeting our passes, dealing with the pressure, attacking the press the way we want to attack the press, not letting it get us back on our heels. Like I told these guys, I fully feel we're going to have to beat a zone at some point in time tomorrow night to win the game. I mean, they can do a lot of different things. Minnesota can play 3-2, they can play 2-3, they can play 1-3-1, and they can do numerous things. And because they've got that length and that experience, that allows them to do it. So we've just got to be, whatever they're in, we've got to focus on what we're doing, focus on our movement, focus on our technique and fundamentals, and then come down and really guard them. But this game's going to come down to the rebounding as much as anything else. It's going to come down to the free throw line. And when they win games, they're phenomenal at the foul line. And they're always phenomenal in the rebounding. So we've got to make sure that we're really locked into those aspects.
You kind of, I guess, at least matched them pretty well in terms of rebounding here. I mean, is it some of the same keys going up there?
Yeah, they're relentless. and the people that they bring on the bench are relentless with it. I mean, they're long, and they're long and aggressive, so you're going to have their guards rebound, certainly their forwards rebound, their bench rebounds, and they're excellent on the free throw line with their rebounding. They're tremendous on both ends. I mean, Trevor's the leading defensive rebounder in the league. He's one of the leading guys in the country for offensive rebound percentage, and certainly our league. And Rodney Williams is as good an athlete as these guys will face. I mean, there's some other guys that might be as good, but there's none better. And so that's what you're dealing with. And then they go to the bench, and Oceans and Elias and those guys are very aggressive. But it's everybody. I mean, it's everybody. It's Austin Hollins. It's Joe Coleman. Those guys really get after the boards. I mean, it's going to be a hard-fought game. There's no doubt.
You mentioned their bench. How important is it for you guys to be able to score points off the bench? I think last game you guys only had 3 points against.
It's just as important that we play well for 40 minutes, and where the scoring comes from, where the statistics come from. That's relatively hypothetical. I mean, there's really. We can't pinpoint that. If you're playing well, if you're increasing the score while you're in, if you're impacting the game from both ends, that's what's most important. I mean, we're scoring a lot of points. So where they come from is not as important as how we're getting them and what flow we're getting them in. And are we getting them off of our defense? And are we getting to the foul line? So I don't put a lot of stock in or I shouldn't say I don't put a lot of stock. I don't study a lot where the numbers are truly coming from when it comes off the bench, but we do truly stay in tune to that plus minus and who's impacting the game on both ends.
In terms of guys off the bench, are you looking more for kind of an injection of energy, especially on the road, especially when you're trying to put together?
We're just looking to play better. I mean, it's everything. You don't want to have a drop off when you go to the bench. You don't want to have it in energy. You don't want to have it in toughness. You don't want to have it in execution. And we feel like we've got a lot of good players. We feel like we've got at least 6 starters, and that's the bottom line. I mean, we're not overanalyzing all those different things other than are you making us better while you're in, and that's what we harp upon constantly. Is there any more?
Thanks, guys.
Regular? Okay.
Thanks, Tom. See you.